Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a map review of Jungle Basin. Now the first time that I watched this map and I did a commentary on this map, the fog of war was on, so it was really difficult to see and I didn't realize how hard it was until I had actually posted up the replay. So I decided to recast this all. I tried to also do this from the map editor, but it wasn't nearly as crisp. So because of that, I decided to just do a 1v1 versus the AI, throw pylons up all over the place where I thought I would like to talk, and then go on from here. So on Jungle Basin, there are two spawning locations. Jungle Basin was recently added during the 1.1.1, in between the 1.1.1 patch and the 1.2 patch. So there are two spawning locations, one on the south side of the map, on the bottom right hand side, and then another on the top left hand side of the map. So only two spawning locations here on Jungle Basin. Another key thing about this map is there are no gold minerals at all. Even these highly exposed center minerals are not gold. There is one natural expansion over here by a very small ramp on your back door, and it is protected by destructible rocks. So a lot of Zerg players may find this map very, very beneficial for them, as they are able to set up a second expansion very easily, do perhaps even a 16 hatchery before a spawning pool and be able to defend it, as all they really have to defend is this choke point here. So one creep tumor here and then some spine crawlers in this position, or even a queen or two on the ramp itself would be able to lend some protection. Now, the number of expansions on this map are fairly small after your natural expansion. There is one expansion here in the center of the map, and then there's also expansions on the far left and far right sides of the map, and these expansions are fairly difficult to get to. So after your second expansion, there really is no easy way to take up a third base, so be aware of this. Trying to take up a third base will be very, very hard to defend. If you do try to take up a third base and this game does become an economic war, make sure that you are not on the aggressive too early in the mid game, as you will lose a lot of your units and then your opponent will be able to come back at you since they had superior defense. And if they have a larger army at that point, when all your minerals are running out of your main base, the game will be lost. Now the center location has an expansion on the south side and an expansion on the north side as well, both protected by the Xel'Naga Watchtower, or both within sight of the Xel'Naga Watchtower. The Xel'Naga Watchtower will give you barely enough information, I think just outside of sight range, in order to see either nexuses, but you will be able to see the center walkway between these two armies. Now in the center, which would normally be a very wide walkway, there is a crevice down the center of the map. So because of this crevice down the center of the map, it is difficult. You may be forced to try to be on the wrong side of the road, so range units really will like to fight in this position. Siege tanks along one side, siege tanks along another will be able to protect themselves and also be protected from melee units from half of the positioning. Now, this expansion over here on the left and the right does have brush also guarding it, similar to on Xel'Naga Cavern. So because of this brush, you may be forced to put in a pylon on the opposite side, or another supply depot, some sort of scouting building that will give you sight beyond that brush. You do not want Hellions or any Zerglings running into your third base and being able to take down your probes that easily. Now, one of the things that I had talked about in particular is the ability to warp in units across this crevice. Now, if you notice, I paused the game right as I was doing this against the AI. You can place a pylon here and here as well and warp units straight into your opponent's base. Another way you can do it is you can place this pylon right here, and what this will allow you to do is it will allow you to warp in units straight behind the mineral patch of your opponent as well. That is also very deadly. It is a little bit more difficult to try to get into this location here, and if you do in fact put a pylon here, it will be viewable from this assimilator, so you may decide to try to pull it back just a little bit here, or even right behind this tree. If you put it behind this tree, you should be able to warp it into this small crevice here and maybe a little bit onto that north side. This is something that I just noticed. One thing about this map and these backdoor rocks is there is no terrain change between these two locations. I do not believe this is a ramp. Yeah, this is not a ramp. So units from one side will be able to attack units from the other side if they are in fact range units. So if you had always counted on your Marines to be able to fight down and take down these Zerglings, if your opponent has Hydralisks as well with them, they will be able to gain sight and protect and protect these destructible rocks. So be careful about that as well. So thanks for watching, thanks for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed this map review here on Jungle Basin, about Jungle Basin. Let me know if you guys have any other questions. And yeah, this map, one of the newly added maps, and going to be fairly difficult to see how play works out. There is a very limited resources, possible warp in over here on the level ground, backdoor rocks, and a lot of opportunity for cheese play. And you can also put siege tanks along here and start blasting away at one of these assimilators, perhaps take down some key tech as well. So a lot of things that can go wrong on this map. Thanks for watching.